Good evening, everybody. And how the devil are you on this? Well, it's quite bright tonight. It has been raining. We are going to get more rain tomorrow, and that's the weather forecast done. Right then, I'll bring in the worms so you see who's going to be doing what in the chat. We have got, when they finally come up, here they are, Dale from Maple Tree Studios, who is trying to get a professional voiceover partnership along with Andy.
Hello, Andy.
From AHP Spoke. And we've got Mark the Panto coming up a close third.
Hello. You, babe.
Right, guys. I'll stick the UMs back in the background and let you know what I'm going to be doing tonight. So tonight, what we're going to be doing is it's a piece of ash. It's about 10 inches diameter, by about 2 inches deep. It's got a hell of a lot of ripple in here, so it will get some colour. But I will be using Yorkshire grit on the bottom. And this programme is brought to you in part by Yorkshire grit. Okay. I will change once I find my mouse again.
It's brought to you in other parts by fags and red wine.
Right, I'll just the guys. Oh, they're already here.
Right, in the chat, we've got Colin Roberts, Dr. Bob, Tommy Dunn, Pete from Twisted Tree, Andy.
Stay on target.
Douglas Monk. Martin from Woody's Creations, John Mooney, Shay, Shy, Wivey Woodshed. We have a Glen Signor. With a circular word by Keith. We have, down as we scroll down, we have Colin Izzard, Ian Leonard, Robert Dolman. We have the ever lovely Michael Stratton. We have Ronnie. We have Robert Lapsley, Mike the Midnight Joker, Doug Miller, and yeah, that's about it.
Hello, everybody.
Hi there. Hi.
I just wondered which end of the pantomime horse Mark was.
Yeah. While Glenn's in the chat, seeing as how he's there, any chance of a free sample, Glenn?
I say, oh boy.
Cough.
You may say yes.
Oh, sorry, Robert.
Great, send you.
Are you going to let...
No, I was going to say he might send you a free sample, Wayne, but it might not be a Yorkie grit. That's perhaps a stool sample is what was sending you instead.
Yeah, probably be a free sample of a kick up the backside. That's what it will be.
Jeff Christie's out in the chat.
Apparently, we sound like a bunch of giggling girls. Apparently,
who said that?
Dr. Bob.
That?
I know,
Dr.
someone
Bob's
with
right.
a PhD.
Dr. Bob's right.
You must lose your sense of humour when you get a PhD.
No, what happens is you then you send people for tests. He doesn't know whether we're girls or not until he sends us for a test.
Dr. Bob's all right. He's the one that watches with coffee and donuts in America.
Oh.
He's actually
or a bunch of stoners. Oh, hey, wait a minute.
That's what he's doing at the moment. He's out.
Yeah, hold on a minute. You want to concentrate on that then?
Yep. Wants to get. How many fish have you caught, Dr. Bob?
Right. Mark the mortise.
So I formed a trade union, Pete, of earworms. I have indeed. It's called, and by the time we finish this live, I'll have thought up an acronym that's funny. But between now and then, we're going to have to go with the Earworms Trade Union. So far, we've negotiated a panto gig for Mark as part of the annual, and we're working on a pension plan that involves Yorkshire Grit.
I can confirm I'm not actually doing any panto this year. So,
Oh, yes, he is.
That's only because of COVID, though, Mark.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, yes, he is.
Are they going to take that poster down that's in Bournemouth Town Centre then?
Oh, no, they're not.
No, I didn't know.
This year, Widow Twanger will be played by Mark the Gentleman Woodturner.
Ronnie, Wayne's been turning for 33 years, apparently.
Oh,
This will
very
be
good.
his 34th year in October, I think he said.
He's also been standing up and sitting
Actually, in October, it'll be my 34 year as well.
down. Well done, sir. But he has also, as well as turning, he's been standing up, sitting down, and occasionally moving.
Nick's
And the
just
chat
joined. Hello, Nick.
We have Doug out in the chat too.
Hello, Doug.
Right, Doug. Oh, look at that. Hi, Nick.
Pete from Twisted Tree says, blimey,
Yes, it was.
According to my computer, Wayne has been turning for 7 minutes. No, he hasn't. Anyone watching that must have thought it was a negative reality invasion. Chisky from Wood Creations is in the chat.
Evening, Chisky.
He's been live for 8 minutes, young Doug. He's only been turning for about 4 of them, though.
Apparently, Doug came late.
Steady on. Part of the pay structure for earworms, I would recommend that we're entitled to a certain proportion of Jaffa cakes for every hour we work. Marty from Wooden Creations. Glenn, did you manage to sleep indoors last night after Joe found out about the Oompa Loompas? Michael Stratton is telling us all, and we all feel quite deeply saddened by this, that Tool Post at Didcot is closing its doors after 23 years. Yeah, that is a loss. Glenn says, and I quote precisely, "You set of utter bounders. Take that, Biff." Shay's saying, "Ash, hooray! This will def need sanding." Oh. Uh-oh. That means the drill.
Right, it shouldn't need that much sanding.
I don't get
It's
it,
not
Doug. What do you
drill.
mean I'm absorbent?
Sponge.
If we sit you down in a puddle, we can soak up the puddle by sitting you down in it.
Oh, right. I thought he was trying to be funny.
You're somewhat absorbent. You know, if you need what you need for to soak up spillage in the workshop is you need a roll of Mark, the gentleman wood turner, handy at all times, where you can roll him out over the spillage and he'll soak it up. Quite the thing. Out in the chat we have Dore60.
Hey, Dory.
Young Mike, the Midnight Joker, saying the drill is on loan to the Spanish Inquisition. No one expects a Spanish Inquisition, Mike.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Dun, dun,
I might
dun.
have even sand this, just to please you.
Oh. Pete Twisted Tree says Wayne couldn't use the drill last night, as on Tuesdays the drill is on its own live to do. Has its own live to do.
Okay, just to please you, I'll use a drill.
LA2 Meadows is in the chat.
Right,
Buzzer.
I've got quite a good finish on this, so I'm just going to sand it with 240.
Barry LeBrow. Douglas Munning says, earworms, does that mean Wayne has to get the drill out of the museum? No. It's one of those pensioners that you see around London, you know, in the red coats. In this case, it's an orange one. If you look really closely, you'll see the
Chelsea
medals.
pensioner.
It's not so much exactly right. It's not so much a Chelsea pensioner, more as a Dumfries pensioner.
It's a yeah.
But
A Carlisle pensioner.
if Jane happens to pop her clothes before I do, I am planning on becoming the Chelsea pensioner.
Good man. Joe Senior's in the chat. Hey, Joe.
Hiya, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi,
Glenn's
Joe.
been
That
saying
was
thank you.
really.
Hi, Baz.
She's in to check up on the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah.
Just need Huey to turn up now.
Huey. Oompa.
Doopity-doo.
Marks and Panto just for you.
Well, it was Baz.
I don't know if it's showing up on the camera. Can you see the ripple in this?
Just
Or
a
not?
little, sir. Not really,
Is it a
though.
bit-
You can kind of see
a
it.
bit
You can
bleached
sort
out?
of see it. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. It will show up better, obviously, when I do the colouring on the top.
Sparky's in. Wayne.
Good evening,
Sparky 415.
God,
Get
hiya,
it,
Sparky. I haven't seen
Sparky.
anything of you for months.
Oh, Sparky.
He's a very tall
Dr.
man.
Grit.
He's proclaims
is.
everything. Oh, hands that feel pity can feel soft as your face with light brown Yorkshire
Mhm.
gritty.
There's got to be a duet with you and Andy doing that.
There's got to be. I reckon Andy sounds better though.
Tonight, live from Wembley Arena,
7 out of 10, you said.
Dale and Andy.
I only rate myself a 4, mate. So
Dandy, hold on a minute, Mark. What did
Dandy.
you just say?
Dandy.
okay.
Right, okay. So it's like that, is it? Okay, right.
The
Okay,
Dandy
so I'm just
Highwayman
looking-
spot of
I'm
it,
just
man.
looking the
We could do Annandale if you like.
tape I applied to it.
I'll do a Jacob on you in a minute.
That's Tony, isn't it? Sparky.
Tony, I think so. Yes. Glenn,
Only if Andy does it as a
Balvenie,
Clockwork
or
Orange.
Lefroy?
That'd be fun.
Oh, wait, hold on. Whoa. Important question. Mr. Senior is inquiring, Balvenie or Lefroy? Balvenie.
I'll
Yeah,
go
wait,
for
no.
Balvenie.
Depends how many Balvenies you've had this week. But you can never go wrong with a Balvenie. Paul Barn,
I'll have a
Young
brew,
Douglas
thanks.
says, Andy has to do it like a Clockwork Orange. Well, there's a laugh. The rave techno version of it.
Yeah.
Mike,
Can Andy
don't-
can Andy do 3 times speed on his camera at the moment?
Oh, I'm not sure. Don't think so.
Mike,
Even if you
make
could,
my
that'd be
joke.
hilarious.
No,
Don't
but
mention Chucks. Don't mention
I might
Chucks
be able
and
to speed
Clint
it
in the
up.
chat.
Oh,
Robert,
There
Dr. Bob is saying, I thought they were one-eyed purple people eaters. There's a song titled about them. Oh.
Different creatures, I think.
Only purple people eaters. I remember the song, though, vaguely.
you can't really do
Oh,
it.
Joe's
speed
counting
enough.
down. Wait, hold on. Wait. Joe's counting down. 3, 2, what happens after 1?
Bang.
Bit worried now. Maybe she's counting from 10 down to just, before she loses it completely at Glenn.
It's either that or Glenn's going to get a smack across the back of the head. Oh,
Or
he's going to get it. He's going to get a Gibb slap. That's where it is.
All right.
Mountain View Turnings in the chat. Hi, MVP.
Evening, Mountain View.
Midnight Joker says Oompa Loompas versus Munchkins would be a great movie. Says a thinly. I mean, there's a spot of cinema nostalgia there. I'm not sure how many people even remember the Munchkins. Oompa Loompas versus Minions. That would be hilarious. Oh, on the third bottle, Dale. Oh, good lord.
Oh, good lord. You'll be on the Pan-Galactic God Blasters next.
That's it. Spend the year dead for tax reasons.
Oh, I got a letter.
I
from
can't remember the
Taxman
words to it now, Dale.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
I'll type them into a private chat in a minute.
Yeah, man.
today. Yep, got a nice
I was
letter
just
from
going
the
to.
Taxman.
You getting some cash from them, Win?
Yep.
How much pennies are they inflicting upon?
That's a nice
£600.
Uh,
That's worth it.
£625.
That's a
Do you want
nice
to buy a
little
thickness of
dividend.
planer?
No, but I tell you what, Two Posters got a sale seeing as how they're closing down.
Mm. Do they have any of those sucky chucks that we keep hearing about?
Any of the what?
Any of those sucky chucks we keep hearing about? What are they called now? It begins with a V.
Don't know.
Those sucky chucks, those ones where when it uses suction to keep things on.
Oh, one of them. What do you call them again?
I forget.
Yeah, so do I. It's been that long since I've seen one.
Andy Heath says, Glenn says vacuum is the word we're looking for. And
Oh,
Andy
is
Heath
that
says
what-
vacuum
that-
chucks. Shay says no wages next week for the earworms. Paul Bond says vacuum chuck. Ian Leonard says vacuum chuck. I think everybody's got this. Glenn says he's got loads of them.
No, Colin, but they put Colin at home at 25% off.
Sparky says, have a great evening, everyone. Thanks, Wayne. Can't stop. Need to do stuff. Bye. Margaret Miller's in the chat.
Hey, Margaret.
Returning truckers about in the chat, Wayne.
Pete from Twisted Tree says, if you want a vacuum truck, just open an earworm's pay packet near the headstock. Robert Bob wants to take up Dr. Bob wants to take up voyeurism by saying, when are you going to go big time and do a live Zoom where every fan can see each other? I say.
Well, is he talking to me on that one?
I'm not sure.
The thing is, if I do a Zoom, mind you, I could do a Zoom, but if I do a Zoom, I'm not going to pay for Zoom. So if I did a Zoom, it would only last 45 minutes. I think that's the limit on the free one. And I'm not very sure how many people I can get in there either.
And I'm not being funny, but what's the point in doing a Zoom meeting? You might as well just sit around having a chat. If you're there to watch a live demo, you're there to watch a live demo, not sit around having a chat.
Technical.
Just saying. Kind of defeats the object.
Michael Stratton says, I've still got half a tin of Glen Jock to get left. None of those newfangled plastic pots for me. Oh, proper tin, Glen. Proper tin. Joe Senior's inquiring. So what's the crack, Wayne?
Sorry?
Joe's inquiring. What's the crack, Wayne?
What's the crack? There's nothing in up here, Joe. Not a hell of a lot, anyway.
Foodie 50's in the chat. Young Douglas is saying they all sit around and just look at each other anyways. Very good point, Douglas. Paul Bang goes on to say, been in Captain Eddie's Zoom a few times. Captain Eddie is awesome.
Captain Eddie tells it like it is.
Captain Eddie's
I can understand. I can understand Zoom for a meeting, but I don't understand why you would want to do it as a live. That's kind of
audience participation where you can look at all the faces staring at you like a scene from 1984.
Why would you want that?
To be honest, it works pretty well for our club, to be fair.
It works very well.
Oh, in a club circumstance, yeah, I can understand that. But on, I think, I forget his name now.
Dr. Bob.
Robert. I think what he was trying to suggest was that for YouTube purposes, so you don't get the YouTube views then. So that's that's kind of defeats
the thing is that I'd still have to stop and answer questions. And
yes,
exactly.
With the earworms in YouTube, the questions can be asked straight away. Usually what happens at any of the Zoom demos I've been in watching, they usually take a break and then people start asking questions. Whereas the questions, when we're doing it this way, just get asked and get answered.
Pete from
That's where I
Twisted
was
Trees
going
is
anyway.
saying, Michael, if you're still using stuff in a tin, you are not using it fast enough. That's a good point. Pete goes on to say, Glenn says you need half a tub of Yorkshire Grit for every bowl you turn. Joe says, no, what are you turning, etc. this evening? Blair pops his head out of the shadows just to see what Wayne is doing and to say hello to everybody. Perhaps not in that way.
Blair.
Dr. Bob says, so you want an invite to the DAW member meeting? Shai says Abrams could be out of work soon. I fear that may not be the case for at least a little while, unless we can get Alexa to do it. Alexa, can you be an earworm?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Oh,
We're protected by the union.
Yep, we've got a union now. Mark the shop steward.
Oh, well, you don't want me a shop steward.
Oh, yes,
I'm evil. I'm evil.
Yorkshire Greg goes
Oh,
a
yeah,
long way,
Andy.
says young Doug. Michael Stratton says, me, I'm very sparing with it, Pete. I'm an old age pensioner, don't forget. Huey's
Yeah,
out
so
in the
am I.
chat.
Chief Oompa Loompas turned up.
Doopy-doo-dee. Good evening, ladies and gentlefolks, says young Huey. Midnight Joker says, why, Shay? Have they got earbots now? Glenn says, do you remember, Doug? Lol. Steve Ash says, hi, guys. Here for some learning and to stop using a mix of Russian and Klingon words as my piece just went boom.
Oh, no.
I feel the air was somewhat bluish or Klingonish. The turning trucker says, lol, stop it. Pete Twisted Trees just said, Alexa, sorry, I don't know that. The Paul Bounds, Doug says, I still have some. Knocked the dust off it a couple of months ago on film. Various hellos. Dr. Bob says, Detroit area Woodturners. I've been to Detroit quite a few times, Dr. Bob. Back in the days when, let me think. Back around the early 2000s. Glenn Senior says, laughing his bottom off, Doug.
Last time I went to Detroit was the mid-70s.
There was a number of major car manufacturers in that part of the world we supplied parts to. That's why I was there.
It was a booming city when I went.
Martin from Woody's Creations is saying the Ripple is fantastic. And Doug says, I moved away from the Detroit area, Robert. Steve Ash says, hi, hi, hi. I almost thought that was going to be hi-de hi.
I will be back in 2 seconds, gentlemen.
You're not allowed to go. Come back.
The wife
You're not allowed
has
to go.
just returned.
Stop it. Mark, grab him.
Oh, he's got away.
She'll kick my butt if I don't. I should kick yours more to.
There's a bit of a distance.
Right, so I'm going to do.
She's running now, mate. Distance means nothing. She runs now. Anyway, back.
Right, I'm putting black on first, and then I'm going to sand it back to 400, and then I'm going to use a ruby red, which is quite a dark red, and we'll see how that turns out. If it doesn't turn out any good, I'll sand it back again and use something else.
Midnight Joker says, do an audition for the Hugh Mongolian throat singing heavy rock band at Steve Ash. Sounds about right. Colin Roberts says, hoody ho. Glenn Senior saying, the Oompa Loompas here. I think he means you, Huey. Oh, the Beard 16's in the chat. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Richard. So there we are. That's the black on.
Steve Ash says, at Midnight Joker, was a rippled sycamore and African blackwood pear-shaped vase. Been working on it for days.
Oh, I'm going to have to stop. I've just had a notification from YouTube. I'm on live, so I'm going to have to go and watch.
You need to go watch yourself, sir. I would never miss you.
Oh, by the way, tomorrow night, I am not doing another extra live tomorrow night. I feel you've probably had too much of me this week. Plus, Chris Fisher, the blind wood turner, is on tonight on YouTube, and he is on the Chestnut Products YouTube channel.
Cool.
So he's doing something over on there. So to tell you the truth, I'd much rather watch Chris.
Yep. Out in the chat, Mark's escaped again and is out singing. He's saying Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo. I've got another puzzle for you. And off he goes in a sort of, escaped Mark-esque type way. Practicing for Panto, Win. Practicing for Panto.
Yeah, practice for the Panto. We're going to have to get him chained to that desk.
I think
so. He
so.
doesn't
Some
escape.
sort of ball, possible chain.
You have to find me first.
We know where you are.
Yeah, but you know where I am, but you don't know where I live.
We know where you are because you're address. Doug from Popeman says we could never have too much Wayne. And when you were talking about Chris earlier, Wayne, did you mean he's on tomorrow night rather than tonight?
Bobby Gannon's in the chat. Hello, Bobby.
Wayne, when you were saying that Chris was on the Chestnut channel, did you mean tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, yeah. Tomorrow night, 7:30.
Cool. Claire from Claire's Crafted Corners in. Hey, Claire. She says, hey, y'all. Sorry for late. I can't do it. I'm never usually late. She's never usually late, Wayne.
Hi, Claire.
Debbie Beardo's in the chat.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. You get those links all right?
Barry Oakes back again. Hello again, folks. Sorry, I can't stay long. I'm afraid. What are you afraid of, Barry? Or have I read that sentence wrong?
Don't be afraid. We won't hurt you.
Be afraid. Be very, very afraid.
This is a safe area. For most.
Mark's here. No, it isn't.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Dr. Bob says can't have too much of great earworm and his worms is what I went on to say there. What I meant was what Dr. Bob said was you can't get too much of the Great Wayne and his worms. Sounds like so I'm sure that was intended to sound like a vaudeville act.
Motown. Wayne and the Worms.
Midnight Joker says, is that Scottish Ash? It looks like it's tartan. Michael Stratton goes on to say, I can play Land of Hope and Glory by Vera Lynn. Glenn Senior says, evening, Debbie. Have you stopped having nightmares about me and mineral oil? Pete from Twisted Trees says, dinner's cooked. Off to eat it. Now, see you all soon.
The Beard 16's listening. Just let us know he's naked. His name
Richard.
Oh, well.
Richard,
that's
are
me.
you naked except the plasticine or including the plasticine?
That's me put off my tea.
Good Lord. Ellie Two Meadows is collapsed into fits. Richard says, we did not need that picture, Richard. I think we can all get behind that remark, Doug. Colin Roberts goes on to suggest that Richard has communicated too much info.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's just practicing for his new series. Beard 16 invades from the shower.
The Beard 16's naked invasion.
What I'll do, I'll
just
just
a series of arrests.
Turn the speed down very low just to help that sand and sealer dry. That was cellulose sand and sealer I put on there.
Richard informs us that the plasticine will go a bit soggy. Doug says, oh, that sounds a bit dangerous, having soggy plasticine.
Doug, you don't
She
know
says,
the half of it.
You're right, tartan ash. That platter should be accompanied by a sort of bagpiper.
Hi, Jordan. Jordan Woodworks is in.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey,
How the heck
Jordan.
are you, sir? Actually, I think it's Bruce. Bruce, how are you, sir?
Let's see how that's doing. remember, when you've put lacquer on or sand and sealer or anything else like that on, and you haven't turned the inside of the bowl yet, always feel for dryness at the inside. We'll see if you're getting fingerprints on there.
I'm not going anywhere near those sentences.
Chicken.
Okay.
Right, what I'm going to do, I'll put a couple of highlights on there.
Oh.
Just to define. Usually what I do is clean in a bit at the edge just to give some definition to the colour. But just for a change, I'm going to put a couple of maybe to rest back. Just going to put a couple of highlights on. I'll turn the speed up again.
Young Doug tells us that he still cannot walk on his own, but it's getting better. Doug, we hope you get better soon, sir. Sounds like a seriously uncomfortable illness accident you had.
Now I'll put a couple just about here. And then I'll define where I'm going to do the bowl.
Yeah, I hope you get better soon, Doug. I know from experience, walking with a frame or a stick sucks. But at least, hopefully, you'll be able to get rid of them soon.
The Beard 16 has declared that there's nothing wrong with chickens. Colin Roberts is suggesting burn lines in it, Wayne.
No, I'm not going to burn lines in it. It is an idea, Colin, but I'm not going to use it this time.
Dr. Bob says, shame, loyal Wayne fans. There are 63 watching and only 24 thumbs up. Absolutely, Dr. Bob. Folks, please, if you like what Wayne's doing, hit that thumbs up.
How many's watching?
63, young man.
67.
67. Mark always likes to do one up.
Or even 4 up.
I'm going to say 68, just to be clear. Bob,
Rich, yes, I am.
Doug says he jumped over his horse head first. I have no hands with the walker.
Oh, you can't carry anything when you're using a walker.
Doug, so Mark Beard obviously says, and I think you answered this, Mark, are you using a special stick?
Yeah, the one he made me.
Doug goes on to say, that's unless they are popcorn chickens at the Beard 16. At this point, if you listen closely, you might hear Richard gagging. Naked in the shower. He'll have spat his plasticine right out across the shower. Claire tells us the 67 where she is. Colin King is in the chat.
Hi, Colin.
And GPN Company's in the chat.
Good evening.
The beard offers expletives, vomits, and overall discomfort and sweariness in relation to all the comments previously made about chickens. He expresses this as $# @ $dollar hash dollar hash dollar hash dollar percentage at. Doug, whoever, lol. Now that I can picture day when we'd laugh about it. Kryptonite. What did he get? Explaining to us he was in the shower. Oh, Wayne of the Big Feeties is in the chat, along with Viola, I should wonder. Hi, guys. How are you?
Well, Wayne, how about?
Karen Dolman's in the chat. She may have been in earlier. I've just missed her. I apologize if I did, Karen. Douglas Munning goes on to declare, earworms, the ball is spinning so fast it looked almost stationary, but the tool is removing wood. How can this be? Is it sorcery? Okay, he never said the last bit, but I just thought that's what he might have thought.
Oh, it's Wayne and his magic.
Flipping heck.
It's the Gouge Man turning in his shed.
How are we doing on time?
41 minutes.
It's an abstract construct derived from the linear motion of entropy.
8:42.
Oh. See, I've been after that answer for I don't know how long. Probably never.
Young Glenn says black magic matters.
Right, it looks like this is going to get done fairly quick. Does anyone want to see me finish off the water drop bowl that I started on Saturday on the Virtual Craft Festival?
Yes. There you go. That's simple.
Shay says, Douglas, they're the new Gouges Electric. We get visions of the of young.
Yes.
Andy's back.
Hello, Andy.
I've been back for a while.
I've been doing something very quietly. Chesky Wood Creations thinks he's going to go and harass the wife.
Wayne, Ellie Two Meadows asks,
Did that.
does the colouring technique only work on rippled wood?
No. Well, the effect that I'm getting tonight only works on rippled wood because what's happened here is that the black colour is soaked into the ripple more than anywhere else because the actual grain of the wood is going across that way. I don't know if you can see in the bowl, but the grain of the wood is going across that way and the ripple is coming vertical on this. This is from right at the outside of the tree, this is. Towards the centre, there's next to no ripple at all towards the centre because I have got some pieces of the wood with the pith still in and there's hardly any ripple in there at all. But this is, some of the blanks I've got is like this. It's got loads of ripple in there. So yeah, this effect you'll only get on ripple. But if you have a wood like this, sometimes it does fill up the soft grain. Can you actually see the grain on this or not? Not really.
A little bit, so you can see the vertical striping right now.
Yeah, that's the ripple. Yeah, you can see that, but you can't see.
You can't see the grain. Can't see the grain not from this angle.
Not to worry. So yes, you can use the color. You can use the coloring effect, which I do on lots of things. This type of staining process I do on lots of things. These are the intrinsic colors from machine, which go straight into the bare wood. You don't put any sealer on first. But I use these colors all the time.
The chat is declaring you to be a wizard. Dr. Bob is saying that so you have figured Wayne's secret. He's a legitimacy wizard. I once read about
the Gouges.
I once read about somebody who named their first child Leggy, which was short for legitimate first. The lady was quite proud of herself at that point. Ellie Two Meadows is asking, is it known what causes the ripple?
I don't personally know. No.
I think it's just genetics of the tree. Just how nature made it.
I've got some little bits of tear out where I put these decorations in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a very fine Scotch-Brite pad. I'm using the orange one, which is the equivalent grit of around about 1200, just to knock the sand and sealer back and get rid of some of those fluffy bits. Yeah, that's fine. And what I'll do now, sand and sealer again. I'm going to sand and seal over all of it. And again, I'll turn it down and let that dry off. And while that's drying off, I'll just bring across the water drop bowl that I started on Saturday.
Doug is suggesting the wind does that to the wood, Ellie.
All right, so with
it.
the wind, with the wind sort of putting the stresses and strains on the tree, that's what causes the ripple. Yeah, I can understand that.
You know, it's extraordinarily plausible, Doug. And Douglas Mungham agrees with him. We may have enough of an answer to be going along with. I think it. So Martin and Woody from Woody Crazy, Ellie. I think it has to do when the tree grew near a raspberry bush. Of course, that's an alternative theory. Shay's gone on to say the wind and the willows, and GPN company saying, "What grind do you use, Wayne?"
What grind? 45-45. Now I'm just using Yorkshire grit again in the centre.
Doug goes on to say it looks great when you find it in a turn. Vader's in the earworms again.
It's not me. My mic's way up now.
Young Glenn is saying, "Woohoo!" Not sure why. We'll find out soon, I suspect.
Probably because I'm using the grit.
Ah. Hand? No. And Martin Woody Creations says it's better when you find it in the freezer. I still think he's got this raspberry ripple thing going on.
Yeah, I'm sure he has. It certainly sounds like it.
Shay goes on to say the colour against the ash looks brill.
I'm just going to finish this off with some microcrystalline wax.
Wayne of the Big Feety says he has a stunning rippled ash blank here, 10 inches by 4 inches, that may become a fruit ball with coloured outside, cut with colours outside. He goes on to compliment Huey on his video.
That sounds absolutely brilliant, Wayne. I still haven't watched Huey's video yet.
And Martin says, and what's wrong with that?
Right, guys, I'll give you a quick shot of this up close to the camera so you can see
in Glasgow. Giza swatch at your bowl, pal.
There you go.
Very, very nice, sir. Very nice.
That's lovely.
Very nice. Very nice.
Right then, so this is the bowl that I started on Saturday on the Virtual Craft Festival.
Saturday is crafty
I've got
day.
some overspray on this, so I'm just going to get rid of that first.
Hate
Just
when that
using
happens.
the 240.
Martin from Woody's Creations says, "Grand job, Wayne," and he gives you a super chat of £5.
Well, thank you, Martin. The thing is, Andy, the good thing about the overspray on this is that it's already been waxed on the bottom.
Yeah, so it just rubs off.
Yeah, it comes off very easy.
Yeah.
Richard the Beard Time 16 is saying he's no longer having popcorn in the shower, and therefore he's no longer naked.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
He worries me sometimes.
Not as much as... I mean, he gets up in the morning and looks himself in the mirror. I mean, there's got to be a moment. Good Lord, I worry me.
And again, I'll turn the speed down and let that sand and sealer dry for a wee while I'm getting set up. So what I'll do with this one, I'll just turn and sand the bowl and put another coat of sand and sealer on and then leave it there because this one's going to get lacquered.
Young Ellie Two Meadows says, "Going to have to get some intrinsic colours to try, I think. Wayne always makes them look ace."
Thank you, Ellie.
I would agree.
Colin Roberts says, "That's like craters on a blue moon." We should now think that old Colin may in fact be an old romantic at heart.
Right, so what size am I going to put the bowl on this? What size diameter is it?
I feel that
10 inch.
Steve Coombs is in the chat.
The
young Beard 16 goes on to say, "Yep, I constantly have to check I'm still fit with 2 teeth."
Now, the reason I'm making a mark for where the bowl's going to be, it's actually giving me somewhere for the gouge to start. The last thing I want to have happen is try and start taking the bowl out and the gouge basically bounces back and ruins all the paintwork.
Young Huey says, "I might get lacquered later." Oops, sorry, I mean bladder. Colin Roberts says, "Well, I have my moments."
Hi, Steve. Hi, Wayne, Bigfoot, and Val. I think I might have been in but out of the chat. I'm not sure. I'm doing joinery tomorrow, Dale.
Joinery?
I'm actually building frame, all sorts.
Good Lord.
Think of me.
Briefly, I will. It says here, Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft says, "Rich, I have to constantly check if I'm still fat," and yep, I think that applies to both you and I, Wayne. Ellie Two Meadows says, "Mum watched the live streams with me on Saturday. Wants me to make a water drop bowl now." Facepalm. Joe says,
"Okay,
she thinks she needs to have some Balvenie before it disappears."
That sounds like a plan,
that's
Joe.
A good shout, Joe. Go for it. You know for a fact that Glenn's going to be sprayed all night. That'll be gone by this evening. Foodie says, "Great effect on the rim. It'd be great if Wayne could explain how he achieved it. If you go back to Saturday's show,
I can quickly
did the
explain.
whole demonstration." Oh, yeah, go for it. Sorry, mate.
Right. what I do is turn the top flat, sand it to 400, put a coat of sand and sealer on there, knock that back. Then the base coat is a light blue. Then I use a water scusher to put all the drops of water actually on top of the bowl. This is lying flat at that point. Now, once the water drops are on the bowl, I will go from one side at a very shallow angle with a darker blue just to hit one side of the water drops. And then from the other side, again at a very shallow angle, I'll use a white spray paint to hit the other side of the drops. Then I'll put it aside for 24 hours until all the water evaporates and it becomes perfectly flat, like this is, perfectly flat. Then I cut out the bowl, hit it with some sand and sealer, and then it'll get around about 8 or 9 coats of lacquer after the sand and sealer. But we're just going to sand and seal it tonight.
Cool. Robert Lapsey says, I'm surprised neither Dale or Andy have given a rendition of Blue Moon yet.
Still time.
Yeah. Oh, no. Debbie says hi to you all from Colin. Glyn says, yes, Joe, grab a glass of Belvini. Glyn won't. I won't tell Glyn. Doug's still fat, apparently. Oh, I can't see that. Apparently Glyn's gardening it. We've got Sneaks Wall Arts in the chat. So Clive, hi Clive.
Hi Clive.
Evening Wayne. Looked in at 8:15, but I was eating my dinner, then recorded what I've been doing in the workshop. So that's cool.
Steve Jobbins has just turned up. Hello, Steve.
Yes, Steve.
Whole lot of hellos.
So I'm going to say this quickly and quietly. I have a tub of Häagen-Dazs salted caramel ice cream in front of me. It tastes lovely. Oh. Sneaky. Look. The beard says, it's vinyl really, guys. Take no notice.
Yes. And for those of you that were in on Saturday, you know that's not true.
I thought it was the soundtrack he was talking about. Harold Golden is in the chat. Hello, Harold.
Hey, Harold.
Joe has just said Ben and Jerry's cookie dough. Joe, you're a lady of taste. I've always said that. I remain convinced. Young Huey, Dan. Young Huey says, "Good call, Dale. I've just had a fresh, clean donut." Lol.
Now, I'm not going to say this just to get Mark upset, but Aldi's have got tomahawk steaks on sale tomorrow at $12.99.
Oh, way.
Cheers for that.
Wayne of the Big Feeties says, Clive, I will wait until you've tidied the workshop up. It's a disgrace.
Making it bigger. More space.
That's what she said.
I'll just turn this down again, let that sand and sealer dry.
Looks lovely, that does.
Let me shave this out the way.
What are we talking about here? The awesome bowl or my ice cream?
The awesome bowl. Dish. Platter.
The outstanding creation of the wonderful Wayne.
Yeah.
Right, let's take that off.
Very deep.
And there it is.
Lovely.
So like I say, once I'll leave that overnight, then I'll start putting lacquer on tomorrow. We'll get about 8 or 9 coats altogether of lacquer. I'll probably put about 4 coats on. And then with the lacquer I use, I can actually put a new coat on after 20 minutes. But it needs to cure for 24 hours before I can knock it back. So I'll have 3 coats on tomorrow. It'll get knocked back. It'll have another 3 coats on. It'll get knocked back. I'll have a final 3 coats on, and then I'll knock it back with Yorkshire Grit Microfine. I'll knock it back with Yorkshire Grit Microfine, and then probably give it some wax. Right, let's get my stool. I'll come and have a sit and see what's going on.
Steve Jobbins says looks the Olex.
Change the
I think he
Chimera.
might have missed a letter. Ooh.
Right, let's what should I do here? Stick that down there. There we go. There you are.
Lovely.
And as you can see in the bowl part of this has also got some ripple as well.
No raspberries were harmed in the making of this bowl.
So that's the water drop bowl, which I started on Saturday, which I've just finished. And this is the bowl that I've just done tonight.
Young Dr. Bob is inquiring, what would be your retail price for these?
Retail price, I'd probably, for the water drop bowl, that would probably be, I don't know, 45, 50 pounds, something like that. For this one, 35, maybe 40. The thing with pricing is that you've really got to price for your market. If I was selling these types of things down in London, I'd probably double the price, if not triple the price. But in a rural area where I am, okay, we do get a lot of tourists, but tourists tend to want to buy impulse buy stuff, which is anything between 10 and 20 pound. And usually they go for my type of things for presents and things like this. But they do sell. They do sell. No, Mike, no, Mick, they're not. The droplets are not standing up. They are totally flat. I can just rub my fingers across there, and they are totally flat. It's not textured at all. It's smooth, which is why people keep on saying that it's a vinyl wrap.
Huey says that you're stunning, Wayne. Sorry, he says they're both stunning, as usual.
Thank you very much.
To be fair, though, if that was a vinyl wrap, someone did a really poor job of wrapping that.
Hey?
Do you know what I mean? It's got loads of air bubbles in. If they were to vinyl wrap it,
okay.
it'd have loads of air bubbles. I would say, mate, go back and do that again.
I've even got a t-shirt, Andy. I've got a water droplet t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I must wear it in a live one day. Right, guys, that's my usual. Around about an hour. That's what I tend to stick to, unless I'm doing something either complicated or a bit bigger. So I will first off thank you all for coming in, as usual. It's much appreciated. And for my earworms as well.
Pleasure as always, sir. Pleasure as always.
I am,
No
like
worries.
I say, I'm not going to be doing tomorrow night. Not going to be doing a live tomorrow night. Chris Fisher, the blind wood turner, is going to be on live on the Chestnut Products YouTube page. So pop across there and watch that. It starts at 7:30. I think that's about it. Thanks to the guys who
Richard's on Thursday.
Oh yeah,
Got the
sorry. Yeah,
beard.
Richard is doing his invade tomorrow night, and Richard is invading a very nice man called Andy Pugh.
Yes.
His YouTube, in fact, he's got a few YouTube channels, but one of them is Tales from the Tinkerage, where he tells us all about his workshop, and he has got an extremely small workshop, where he's probably got more stuff in there than I've got in mine. So Richards is doing an invade of Andy tomorrow night, so that should be very interesting. That'll be starting at 8 o'clock. And I think Rich is, yeah, you are still doing them live, aren't you, Rich? So I'm sure Rich is still doing them live, so you can actually join in the chat and ask questions and things like this. Thanks, Douglas. Cheers, Doug.
Thank you, Douglas.
Yep, so Rich has just confirmed he is live, so you'll be able to join in the chat, ask Andy questions, which will be a real turnaround because he usually asks all of the questions on a Sunday night on Makers International podcast. Grand, thank you, Karen. Right, I'm going to hit the button and get out of here. And I will see you. I will be back on Friday lunchtime. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll be back on Friday lunchtime. Bye for now, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Get the bloody button.
Bye.